It's heavy.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 217. Day in the neighborhood, my brothers and sisters. We're back once again, y'all. Once again, baby, to get into another one of these crazy ass true crime stories. And before we get into that, I just want to go and let y'all know, for the next 3 days, I'm not putting out any videos. I'm going missing. Today is Tuesday. So for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I won't be doing that on the channel. And the reason I won't be doing anything is because I'm currently working on my next true crime video. And I'm working on another project that I may bring to the channel. I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on it right now. I just got to see once I put everything together how it look and how it sound. And if I like it, I'm gonna share it with y'all. I digress. We gonna get into today's video, and we going back to our homeboy for this one. We fuck with him hard too. We fuck with him heavy, and that man is Dire Trip. Gone Dire Trip once again, y'all. And the title of the video: The Mystery of the Dead Man Inside a Toilet. I'm just hoping, y'all, that we find out how this man actually got in the damn toilet. Not only that, how he died. I hope not how. Let me say that again. I hope we find out who did it. That's the most important thing. Who the fuck did it? That's what I hope more than anything. I digress again, man. Before we get into it, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need. We back to Dire Trip, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around that world. Y'all got what y'all need. Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
A teacher, coming home from a long weekend, found an entire human being shoved down in her toilet looking up at her. This led to wild speculation as to why and how this person even ended up in there.
Get whatever you may need. But I gotta stop it real quick, y'all, because I'm thinking like he was face down in the toilet. You know what I'm saying? With his body out the toilet, but like his torso, his head stuck in the toilet. The way Dire Trip just showed that, he said the man dead, like he inside looking up throughout the commode hole. Y'all know what I'm saying? How in the fuck did this happen? I didn't even know nobody can fit in a toilet. What the fuck? Let's see.
Today I want to talk about a cool new product I found when...
Yeah, he come with his commercials. Y'all fuck with, what this is. I don't even know what this is. Drift, it look like. Y'all fuck with Drift, man. But, yeah, bro, I'm thinking the man, like, you know, head was in the toilet. It come to find out, his whole body in the toilet. How the hell he looking up through the hole? That's crazy. Take it back. Let's go.
Way and a state funeral is being held. Due to this, many people across the country got a...
Hold up. I don't want to fuck y'all up. Alright, let's start right here. Let's go.
for 55% off Drift for your first month. Thanks to Drift for partnering with me on this video. Check out the link in the description below. The day is Friday, February 24th in 1989. The Showa Emperor of Japan has just passed away and a state funeral is being held. Due to this, many people across the country got a day off from their jobs. One of these people was an unnamed elementary school teacher that we will simply refer to as the teacher throughout this video. She lived in a very small cottage-style dormitory for teachers near her school out in the village of Miyakoji, a small settlement out near Fukushima. Getting this Friday off meant that she would have a much-needed 3-day weekend, so she decided to go home to her parents and spend some time with them. She decided to take one further day off, being away from her dorm until the 27th. The next Tuesday, the 28th, she came back to her dorm and to her job, and taught classes at her school all day as usual. At around 5 in the evening, she finally got around to heading back to her room. It had recently snowed outside and the wind chill was bone-chillingly cold, so she hurried back as quickly as she could. This run shook something loose in her and she realized that she really had to go to the bathroom. At this time, the building wasn't very well developed. The attached bathroom was hardly more than an outhouse, with nothing more than a squat toilet in the ground to serve as a bathroom for each room. Under the toilet was a simple U-shaped pipe that linked the toilet inside to a drainage pipe outside where someone would periodically come out, open the lid, and manually get rid of the sewage. When the teacher was getting ready to use the toilet, she noticed something strange down inside that caught her eye. It was a shoe, actually, an entire shoe inside the toilet. She decided to go outside and open up the lid to the exit of the pipe to see what was going on. This was when she discovered that an entire person was shoved down into the pipe. She started freaking out, understandably, and ran to get the attention of the principal and the other teachers. One of them called the police while the others came to gawk at the man shoved into the pipe. The police came out, but unfortunately there wasn't any life-saving to be done. This man was already dead, and he might have been for quite a while. Getting rid of the body alone was going to prove very difficult. The opening for the tube was extremely small, to the point where they had no idea how the man was even in there at all. The opening was only about 36 centimeters or 14 inches wide, and the inside of the tube was even smaller, about 20 centimeters or 8 inches. The only way they could even get the body out was to completely destroy the toilet, remove the pipe, and break it open, but they had no choice. The body was in a crouched position with the head facing the toilet inside, looking up. The man was not wearing a shirt despite the frigid temperatures, but he was pressing his jacket up against his chest. The shoe that the teacher had originally spotted was actually placed on top of his face. The body was, as you might imagine, completely covered in crap at this point and had to be thoroughly washed a couple of times before an autopsy could even be done. When it was done, it was found that he didn't have any injuries aside from slight scrapes here and there on his elbows and knees. When it came to a cause of death, it seemed that hypothermia was the culprit. It was believed that he had been dead since February 26th, a full 2 days before the teacher came across his body.
I'm sorry, y'all. This is just one of the most weirdest damn videos that I can say we'd watched in a long time. Like, this is up there. This is at the top of the list because the thing that's just so weird to me is how in the hell his body get in that damn toilet, man? Now, they toilets are a little different over there than they is in the United States. But still, I still don't see how in the hell his body got up in that little shit, man. This is some weird, this is weird. Let's go.
The body came to be identified as that of a local man who lived just barely 10 minutes away from the teacher's dormitory. His name was Naoyuki Sugano. Naoyuki was only 26 years old and had worked out at the Fukushima nuclear plant, with some reports saying that he worked in overseeing safety plans and others saying that he worked in sales. In contrast to the way he was found, he actually had a very good reputation. He was known for volunteering for activities related to the local youth association, he was the MC at several of the townspeople's weddings, and he even helped out in campaigns for local elections. The timeline of events proved to be confusing. Naoyuki had been missing since February 24th, 4 days before he was found. The last person who ever saw him was his father, who he lived with. Naoyuki came up to him at about 10 a.m. while he was watching TV in the living room. He told his dad that he would be back soon before leaving their home, saying that he was going to run some errands. His father has since said that Naoyuki was behaving as usual, the same as ever. From that point onwards, nobody ever saw or heard from Naoyuki ever again. Once night came around and his son still hadn't come home, his father started getting worried and called the police. Police, in their examination, quickly felt that a third party was not involved. From the way they saw it, Naoyuki must have gotten into the toilet of his own will from the outside pipe, hoping to get a good look at the teacher. Given Naoyuki's great reputation around town, the people who knew him weren't content with this explanation.
Do y'all believe that shit? I'm sorry, I can't go with that one. I can't go with that one now. Them police need to cut that out, man. This man was so desperate to look at this teacher to the point where he tried to hide up in her toilet so he can see up and see private parts. Come on now. Let's just be real about the situation. I can't go with that theory. That's a horrible theory. Police need to be ashamed of themselves.
They didn't like the implication that Naoyuki was some kind of pervert. This caused a lot of outrage throughout Miyakoji. The people, and even the police, still had a good number of questions in relation to the case. The most immediate question on everyone's mind was, of course, how and why did he end up in that toilet in the first place? At that point of time in Fukushima, the weather was still bitter cold. Nobody in their right mind would have gotten into a cold, underground pipe full of even colder liquid. The air outside was bad enough
Nobody in their right mind would have got into a pipe that's full of shit
on its own, and there was still a good 8 inches of snow on the ground all around on the day Naoyuki went missing. Many people wondered why he would even be missing clothing when it was already so freezing cold outside, but that only actually furthers the most likely cause as being hypothermia. In a phenomenon known as paradoxal undressing, people will often feel extremely hot, even remove all of their clothes, and sometimes hallucinate. This very likely could have been the reason as to why exactly Naoyuki wasn't wearing a shirt or shoes. Others pointed out that if Naoyuki was really intending to peep at the teacher, he wouldn't have been able to see a thing in the first place. The lighting in the room was far too dim, especially with someone crouching over the only opening. Granted, he may not have known this before entering, but it seemed that anyone who was going to come up with such a gross plan would probably at least figure out the bare minimum logistics of the operation. Some others pointed out the sheer difficulty of entering such a small pipe. As stated before, that model only had a diameter of about 14 inches, one end outside of the building and one inside under the toilet. The toilet covered the majority of the indoor pipe, meaning he only could have entered through the outside septic tank. Naoyuki was listed as being 5 foot 7 inches tall. According to the data released by the Japanese Ministry of Economic Trade and Industry at the time, the average shoulder width for a man of his height and age would have been roughly 16 inches. This meant that, although it isn't completely impossible that he could have entered the pipe, it would have been very difficult, especially to maneuver around the bend once inside and get himself into the position he was in. Not to mention it would have been a claustrophobic nightmare. Naoyuki's own father later used the same kind of pipe to try and reenact the crime scene himself. He found that, at least for himself, he couldn't even get into the pipe with or without clothing. Being that he wasn't much different in size from his son, he felt that his son couldn't have even got in there on his own, especially with the minimal cuts and scrapes he was found with in the end. Not to mention, he knew his son and felt he would have been disgusted by the very thought of entering into a bunch of sewage. At this point, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, as I know it's what you're all thinking. Maybe he had a fetish for this sort of thing. I mean, stuff was going to be coming down on his face in that position, and yeah, maybe he did. There isn't really any way to know, though, and nobody who knew him knew anything about it, at least. Which is understandable. I mean, that's not the kind of thing you're going to be telling everybody.
But see, I can't get with that either, though, Dire Troop. Because it is some people out here, and we done watched some videos of people who have this type of fetish of basically liking shit, eating shit, playing with shit, you know what I'm saying? And they actually got feces fetishes out here. It is some people, but my point is, man, the percentage of people out here who have that type of fetish is like 0.000000000000001. So we gonna throw that out, man, cause I'm telling y'all, that ain't what it is. That is not what it is.
Naoyuki being found without a shirt was one thing, but the situation on his feet was even more strange. One of his shoes was found placed on his face, but the other was actually missing until it was found later out in a field near to where he parked his car. The car itself was another point of mystery. It was parked in a lot pretty near to the dormitory, but it was found with all of the doors unlocked and the key still sitting in the ignition. This led people to question as to whether Naoyuki even planned on getting out of his car for more than just a minute. Even being as safe of a country as Japan is, most people wouldn't brazenly walk off with their keys still in the ignition if they were going to leave side of the car. All of these revelations brought the hypothermia into question. It would have made sense for Naoyuki to start freezing and undressing while he was in the pipe, but the shoe being removed near the car shows that he was already starting to undress before even arriving at the pipe. If he was freezing at this point, why didn't he stay in the car with the heater on? The car was still in perfectly fine working condition, and he could have even just gone home if he wanted. People began to question the timeline as well. Nobody in the country didn't realize that the state funeral was going on and that a good number of workers, especially teachers, were going to have a long weekend. Even if Naoyuki somehow didn't know this, it was obvious that nobody was even staying in the dorm at the time. He knew that, bare minimum, the teachers wouldn't be back until the 27th, but he was already entering into the tank on the 24th, meaning he was going to lie down in there for days before he saw anything he might have wanted to see, all without food or water and freezing to death in sewage. As small-town gossip tends to go, there was no shortage of it as villagers tried to come up with their own theories as to what happened in this case. To this day, rumors and theories still pop up online here and there. One of the biggest rumors centers around the teacher who discovered Naoyuki in the first place. Many have said that, although she was engaged at the time, she was actually having an affair with Naoyuki. Others have said that they weren't having an affair, but instead that Naoyuki was friends with her fiancé instead, possibly pointing to some jealousy. While neither of these could be proven, it was widely known that Naoyuki was an acquaintance of the teacher at the least, given that they had been seen interacting in the past. If the two really were having an affair, or if he was some kind of stalker, that would have actually just made it even more likely that he would have known her schedule ahead of time and that she wouldn't even be there when he entered the toilet. Those close to the teacher pointed out that she had been receiving weird phone calls in the time leading up to Naoyuki's disappearance. Someone was, in true horror movie fashion, calling her up and breathing into the phone while making strange noises. She told her fiancé about this, and he helped her to record the calls. They then took the recordings to the police, who found them neither notable or concerning. Oddly enough, though, some have even said that Naoyuki himself assisted the two in recording the phone calls. No matter what the angle, many felt that the teacher was at least involved in the disappearance somehow. Many felt that she might have even been the murderer herself, even though the case wasn't believed to have even been a murder. Given as poorly lit as the bathroom was, many questioned how she would have even seen and made out the shoe down in the pipe in the first place. Others questioned that, instead of asking for help removing the shoe, why she went around to the outside and decided to look into the septic tank herself. It seemed to be an unnecessary, gross, and oddly brave move for her to pull. This led people to wonder if the claim that she found him in there was merely a way to frame the murder in her favor. As many theories about the teacher as there were, some theories actually pointed elsewhere. About 10 days before Naoyuki's death, there was a particularly heated election taking place for village chief. Naoyuki was asked to lobby for one of the candidates because of the level of respect he had within the community. Some felt that these events were oddly close together and wondered if Naoyuki might have stumbled upon something incriminating while working on the election, possibly bribes or sabotage of some sort. Naoyuki's workplace also came up as the subject of many theories. At the time, there were supporters of nuclear power in the area, but there were also many who opposed nuclear power in general. Supporters felt that it would be a great way to create both new jobs and energy, but others were concerned about the possible harmful effects to the environment. The new village chief was going to have some amount of power when it came to deciding whether or not the plant was going to get to remain. Believe it or not, this wasn't the only concerning thing to recently happen at his workplace. About a month before his death, there was an incident at Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. A pump in reactor 3 had malfunctioned, causing a bunch of contaminated metal fragments to leak out. After a while, reactor 3 had to be shut down completely. Given that there were so many anti-nuclear protesters in Fukushima at the time, the nuclear power company feared backlash due to the incident and decided to cover it up and neglected to report it. As much as they tried, though, it came to light about a month later. When it did, Naoyuki was questioned about the incident. A short time after, his supervisor, the operation manager, jumped in front of a train at Tokyo's Ueno station. Many felt that it was too coincidental that one man took his life after this incident and another ended up dying in mysterious circumstances shortly afterward. Of course, there were some other, less widely believed theories as well. Some of these questioned as to whether or not Naoyuki entered the pipe of his own will, or if he had an accomplice of some sort, for some reason. In the end, none of the theories were really backed up with any sort of concrete evidence. All of it was pure speculation, and a lot of them even had very noticeable holes in their narratives. We can only really guess as to what actually went down that day. The case was closed, and the police never did reopen it. Due to the statute of limitations having passed, it's extremely unlikely that they ever will. The villagers knew Naoyuki well enough to feel that he wouldn't have been up to anything malicious, leading to more than half the townspeople, over 4,000 in total, to sign a petition requesting that the police continue the investigation. This was to no avail. To this day, nobody really knows what happened to Naoyuki. Once again, thank you for watching my video.
This was my face the whole time through this video. I'm just sitting there looking at this shit, y'all, like, This is so fucking crazy, strange, weird, and excuse me. I'm really like trying to come up with a reason in my head that how this happened. And I ain't got shit. I don't know. I can't come up with no reason of how this happened or who done it. You know what I'm saying, man? This shit. How in the hell this man get in a fucking toilet? And then his positioning in the toilet. So when he went down, he had to turn up back around, then face straight up. Like, the shit just stupid. I don't know. All them damn theories that Dial Trip was telling us, I can't believe none of them. And some of them, especially, some of them people just reaching, and a lot of them just seem like they had plot holes. Especially the ones where they try to say that the lady did it. See, I think that theory don't check out because I'm pretty sure, and Dial Trip didn't mention it, but I'm pretty sure that she had alibis, like she had receipts of her not being in that dormitory room at the time he entered the pipe. She was gone. She was her mom and daddy away. Her mom and daddy probably couldn't vouch for her, but they probably been lying. But I'm pretty sure that it's something. The place she worked at, the other teachers, her authority figures, somebody, it's some kind of way, bro, that she probably showed like I was not at this house during the time that he entered, because he entered a couple days before she even got back to the damn house. He had been up in that bitch dead. I can't come up with nothing, y'all. I can't come up with nothing. Only thing, if I just gotta try to put some kind of theory, something together, and it's not even complete theory. I'm just gonna say I'm leaning towards that he was actually put in there by somebody. I just don't think he did that shit on his own. I don't think that man went up in a damn toilet, in a sewage pipe, to come and look straight up the hole of a toilet. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I can't go with it, man. I keep on thinking about it. Like, is it possible he did it? I don't know. I'm finna let y'all go, man, because this is a rabbit hole. This shit probably finna be on my mind the rest of the day, trying to figure out how in the hell did this happen. But like I said, man, I'm gonna let y'all go. And like I said, I'll see y'all Saturday. Because you know we got Let Me Talk to You episode 4 coming out, and I got some other shit that might be coming out. True Crime Benny, yo, number 4. Y'all be on the lookout for that. And we just gonna keep going. I'm a little sad that I ain't making no videos for a couple of days, as far as, you know what I'm saying, putting one out every day. I'm a little sad about it. I ain't gonna lie. I love doing this shit with y'all, man. I love hollering at y'all every day. But it's for a great cause, y'all. And until I see y'all Saturday, my brothers and sisters, I got a couple of more things to say. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.